We are live, right? Like, is this thing working? Is everything good? Let's see. How are we doing? Howdy, Xavier. Happy New Year, Nick. Good to see you both in there. How you guys doing? Thinking of doing things. Let's do there. Ah, perfect. Oh God, it's been a while since I did this on the big screen. Oh boy. Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. Sorry I had no Christmas stream or anything. Yeah, we didn't get to do a Christmas stream or anything. I had to unfortunately drop off the map, but there was something kind of important I had to do. And it kind of ended up like consuming all of my time, which makes me sad because I wanted to get Blood Saints done this month. But oh well, it is what it is. I got like 5 other analyses posted this month, so I guess I can't be too hard on myself. Whatever. Hope I had a nice Christmas. It was as merry as I think it can be, you know? Let's see. Yeah, so I got myself everything for the last thing. I'll be honest, I have not been playing. I was not able to, which is sad because I think last meta was actually like pretty nice, but it was like, man, I just could not. I've been having so busy lately. I think I might be getting busier in the future. Oh God. I'll worry about that later. Let's see. What can I do? Because I want to at least get one like 10 pack, you know? Actually doing my dailies would actually be nice, but no, let's practice. No, that's not what we want. Battle guide. Puzzles! Puzzles are always fun. Let's see. I've covered all these. Oh, there are a lot of new ones. Well, that one's done. Sure. Whatever this is. Oh, also, let's give us a little bit of audio on here, right? I'm not hearing anything at least. Anyway, so fortunately I can't talk about the things that I'm working on right now, which is always a shame. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, sure, whatever. Sure. Tutorial bullshit. Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Just give me sound. Should have done this earlier. Okay, cool. There we go. All right, sure, whatever. Oh God, these tutorials, man. There we go. Oh yeah. There we go. Pull. Let things actually have sound.
The legends are true.
There we go. Ugh. Anyway, but unfortunately I cannot talk about some of the stuff that I've been working on, but I will say I'm enjoying it immensely. So hopefully it'll pay off. Yeah, okay, sure. Cool. All right, yeah, sure.
Forest guard dons his mask.
All right, sure.
Don't look away. Fellowship.
There we go. There we go. I have a leader for you. I hate it. Of all the characters I could have gotten leaders for. No. I'll look at these things individually because it looks like, yeah, there's a lot of crap. I mean, I need what? Only 410. So I can do this in 2 of these. Okay, sure. They give us a new tutorial on Abysscraft. Sure. I love tutorial. Actually, okay, here's the question. Can I skip tutorials?
This brings me back.
I don't see a skip button. Let's see, does that work? No. Okay. So it does actually demand that you actually try to do stuff. There we go. Man. So I hope everyone else is enjoying their new year. It's gonna be a wild next year, I can already tell.
This brings me back.
It feels weird because already it's like, wow, I've already gotten like most of what I wanted done with Dark Souls and stuff like that. And we'll see if I can do anything more with the Souls series next year, right?
Enough.
I'm getting so many more questions and stuff about like my next books and stuff too. So it's like, yeah, I really want to make sure that I can get that out to you guys if I can. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, okay, cool. Now, unfortunately, because of the you know, the type of topics I've left, Bloodborne I feel like is going to be one of those slower paced ones where I'm going to be like doing like one post a month, which makes me a little bit sad. But it's like Loran is like super big and I haven't been able to actually like fill out the outline yet, so that one's got me a little nervous. That's cool. All right, now can you? Cool. Anyway, so ooh, yeah, so you can do that with the oh, wait, we're not even gonna evolve? Okay, sure, whatever you say. Whatever. Yeah, I know how this works. Anyway, so I've got a sad on that front because it's like I do want to get Bloodborne done, but it's like God, we have a lot of big topics left, and I didn't realize like yeah, they're gonna take a while for me to work through. It's a shame because like damn, it's not like difficult stuff. It's like I've already got like most of the stuff figured out, or we're just gonna be like waiting here. All right, there we go.
A journey of 1,000 miles.
Woo! One tutorial done. Let's do the other one and get this over with. There we go. And then Dragoncraft. We'll finish this one up. Then we'll do our temple and then we'll hop on to ER. I will say though, I do feel like I might be hitting a wall though with Elden Ring as well though, just because I feel like, I don't know, I'm hitting the point where it's like I need to maybe start tackling either different topics or questions regarding the cosmology, because I do feel like I'm starting to hit the limit, but I don't know, it might be one of these things where I just decide I'm going to write on like what I know, right, and just ignore the questions that I don't, and then maybe I'll get back to it once I'm done. I really don't like doing that. I try to be as holistic as I can with my stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, I know, I got it. So we do this and then we got that. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, now I can do this. Can you want me to hit? Yeah, of course. Oh my god.
Another lonesome night.
Cool. All right. But we'll just see. I feel like overall, I'm in a very good spot when it comes to Elden Ring. Like I feel like I'm actually like slowly but surely making real progress and stuff. So maybe it's just like all in my head, and I'll like, you know, when I actually tackle some of these topics, I'll be like, oh no, actually I can figure out a lot more than I think I can. I'm not that stupid.
Next checkpoint.
All right, and then I do. Okay, yeah.
Law is the art of balance.
Oh, that's cool.
Equality.
See you on the other side.
Cool.
I treat all my
So when are you gonna give me last words, Cygames? Like, why are we... Like, I see the last words followers, but where's my Niptus, you know? Hey, I am good to see you. What the hell's this card? I say that as I skip the tutorials. Why don't you evolve her? Sure. I was like, you want me to play Fate of the World? Okay.
Be judged.
Okay. Draw 2 cards, destroy a random enemy follower with the highest attack. Enhance 10, deal 4 damage to all enemies. Okay, does that happen before or after the destroying the random follower?
Do I come off as cold to you?
There we go.
You made a narrow escape. Before he got
I guess.
it.
Oh.
Retribution.
Atonement. Whatever. I win. Worked out. I needed a little bit more than that though, right? So no, it's just enough. Okay. Right, I need 410, not 510. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my, what the hell? I didn't know we were marketing Korea. I guess he's kind of dressed Chinese. So Chinese boy bands now. Psy Games, are we that desperate? Also, they're doing the Frieren collab, so it's been a while. Like I forgot Loki existed. Don't worry, I forgot I existed too. It's okay. Sure. We'll do the one free pack. Not even gonna bother with this one because I want to get to the temple. I guess everything's gonna be new now. That's kind of cool. All right. These are just 5 packs. 10. Let's see what we got. Ooh, 2 legendaries. Nice. Nice. Okay. Oh, this looks. I like that art. Yeah, that's just nice. This was neat, but there's something about the pose that is unsettling to me. Oh, that's just hot. She ain't a looker too. Oh, the hair change. Like I love the red and the black, but man, holy hell. This guy's cool. Never mind, I take back anything nice I once said. I like the art style for that one. Insomniac Witch.
I need a sleep spell. I'm going mad.
I know the feel.
Exhausted.
Don't worry, chat. This Loki is operating off 2 hours of sleep in the last 72 hours. Ooh, that's sexy.
See by the light of knowledge. Light guides.
That's cool. This one though
In
is.
smoke, everything glitters. Let it go.
I think I got on my first pack before stream. Like, oh god, so nice. Protective shell, huh? That's just hot and it's all. Oh, Milteo. Nice. That's my second. I think the second one I've gotten. I know I got one from the free deck offer they gave.
Consume all.
Let love consume you.
Indulge. In moderation.
Love lives on.
Mm-hmm.
He underestimates you.
Terraforming. A terraforming wizard, you say?
Nature is my canvas. I'm brilliant. This is talent.
Not too crazy about the voice. That's kind of fitting.
Flip a card.
I'm not gonna lie, I love the style of these cards, like the art style and the borders they gave them. Like, this is, I think it's cool. Waterbending.
Truth lies beyond form.
Frost over.
Uh-huh. Ooh. For Runecraft, huh? We got a grandpa. I wish you could favorite from here.
Your story is all that survives.
Oh. I can't believe they made this guy. He used to be a legendary in the OG. Now he's a gold card. That's a shame. What the hell?
Small and winged does not a bug make. Triple threat. My friends have fangs.
God, considering Morris, she gets so much work for this game.
Don't be scared. I don't bite. Here, it's sweet.
I mean, Kaiji Tang's doing. I didn't even recognize that was him that time, so.
All I can do is preserve the peace. What's the point? Why go the extra mile?
I don't recognize this VA. I wonder if he's new. Ooh.
Melancholy, wash away. Big sad.
Oh, Kaylee Mills for that one.
Let's fix you up. Let's fix you up.
Yeah, it sounds like a cat roll.
How you find Newt's doing tonight? Rock on! Got drenched, dude.
Josh Keaton, what a name. How was the end of the year for you? It's busy. A lot of crazy stuff. I had to drop off the face of the planet for a bit, so again, I think it's going to be very positive overall, but considering how shitty this year has been for me, I'm pretty happy with how it's closing out.
Bend will never break. Cha!
I have lived a very blessed life, I will say. Ooh. Now that's a cool mother effer. Oh, he doesn't even have a voice. Damn. Damn, generic stock sounds. Who the hell?
Executing command. Design disabled. Rebooting. Executing command. Disable vision.
Micah Salazad? Yep. I was like, I couldn't tell the first time because I was rushing through it. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Micah. All right. Nice. All right. Oh, I only picked the one, but oh well, it was a legendary, so that's cool. I thought I picked 5, but whatever. Wait, where's the legend? Am I crazy? I could have sworn that was the legendary. Oh no, it is. It is all 5. Okay, so there's a legendary among the pack. Pickle Necromancer.
No zombie can resist this space. Can't pick.
I don't recognize that name either.
I lift trembling paws in prayer, wishes and whispers.
Yeah, it's a cat line. Yeah, so year has not been awful way to end its. Ooh. Hello, madam.
What must be, shall be. Wherefore art thou?
Oh.
The world, a stage. My bounty.
Hmm. Ooh. Hello.
Are you worth an investment?
Oh my god. She wants to swindle me. She's an arms trader, I assume. Hey, this looks pretty cool.
Nature speaks through me.
Yeah, it's a Micah roll, all right. Speaking of Micah rolls, I saw Yona of the Dawn is getting it. Like, good old Akatsuki no Yona, you know? God, that one's crazy to me. That one's getting a sequel, but I feel like we're in a weird age where like so many sequels for things are getting announced now. So like, I might just be like, I should do the last of these cards before we finish up. Honestly, same for me. It had its lows, but I'm glad it ends on good. No, well, I'm glad to hear that. I am, you know. Now, last year ended really shitty for me, but it was an overall very good year. This one, it's been an absolutely god-awful year, so it's balancing. Gotta balance itself out a little bit. I got Sandalphon on my last one, huh? Totally what I got. This one is still... I just don't know what to say to that one. This is definitely... I don't know, Granblue is one of those franchises I really want to get into, but they changed the art style for the anime, and I was like, well, damn. Like, I really love the first season's art style. So it kind of like killed my interest in actually like, getting into the franchise. But man, does their 2D art not look really good? We got the new stuff here now. All right, so I think that exhausted everything. And again, until I see Frieren, this means absolutely zero for me. And even then, I don't think I like any of these designs of the characters by themselves. Let's see what I picked up. Yeah. Woo! Nice. What's happening here? Feats. Oh, okay, so no basic rewards and stuff. Okay, nothing too crazy. Anything for the events? Evolve or super evolve, win matches. Dude, I'll do that on my own time. Let's start up. Let's start up Elden Ring. Let us start up the Elden Ring. You enjoyed Relink? Yeah, I heard. From everything I saw about that, that was another one where I was like, oh, I might actually get into it. And I played the demo for that, and I enjoyed it. But I end up just, you know, I just don't have the time, Jet. That's the problem. That's honestly the big issue. with everything I do with Souls and stuff, like that just eats up so much of my free time in terms of like, you know, what I could be doing elsewise. As I've because I was working on something else, I finally was able to actually catch up on like, I could have like some random anime, but like in the background. But like I didn't want it to be anything like major or anything. I still have a lot of series that I really want to like, you know, just sit down and watch on my own. Who was my last character I was playing as anyway? Also, before I forget, let's make sure we get our camera thing. Also, I was playing this one. Yeah, I'll be honest, I am so out of it. We're gonna throw ourselves into it now. Let's see. What Elden Ring wise would I like to get a deeper insight on? I feel like Those Who Live in Death, we have like a lot of this, like the major stuff covered, unless there's something I'm forgetting regarding. No, we don't have that yet. Unless there's something major I'm forgetting about Godwin's design. So many good games came out this year to come back to later on as well. Yeah, backlog there too. Again, I have to finish Trails in the Sky remake and stuff on the stream, which again, we finished the bosses for Night Rain, so Night Rain can now be the thing that I do, like, you know, when I want to complete the story or whatever, right? I can come back to it. So I want to get back to Trails in the Sky remake and finishing that up. I have a few other backlogs of games that I want to get to. Like, there's just a bunch of stuff I would want to do. Oh, that does remind me about this. So, like, if you meet what's-his-face, if you meet D here, here's the body, right? So you meet D here. You have this prisoner's corpse. Of course we have this. Hey, Mr. Erdtree or Mrs. Erdtree. Don't know which is which with trees. Anyway, Mr. and Mrs. Erdtree, could you like stop sending all of your babies down here? I don't need your skin flake children to come raining down on my ass, okay? The fallen leaves tell a story. Yeah, we know the meme. Anyway, so if you meet D here and you come back to him after killing the Mariner, I think it is, he'll mention seeing in the village a rune or whatever, like the mark of the curse brand or whatever it's called. I forget now. So you got the curse mark of death apparently in here, and he connects it to being like someone being responsible specifically, obviously separate from the Mariner because he talks about the Mariner. But like my question would be, where and how? Like what? Is someone like, ah yes, I am summoning the curse mark and it is spreading the death root here? Like, the only thing I could think of is that someone would be deliberately sending people over. Well, no, it can't be working with the Mariner, because the Mariner, then the guy would be like, ah, the Mariner is working with someone or something like that, right? Like, no. It's usually the idea is like, they caused death that spread death throughout the village. It attracted the Mariner, which again makes sense to me. I have no problem with that in and of itself. The fallen leaves tell a lie. We don't know about that. But anyway, the amount of people who I've seen totally misinterpret D's character is wild. I mean, I wouldn't know because I haven't even really given much thought to his character. It's like, you know, I'm like, you know, he's him and he's got his brother guy going there, right? And they're really like, you know, obsessed with the fundamentalism or whatever. Like, yeah, I don't got really strong opinions when it comes to D. Cool design though. No, that's amazing how that works. Yeah, I don't see it. Granted, it's a kind of an awkward thing too, because like he doesn't leave from his spot, and yet he also acts as if, especially in the JP dialogue, like he hasn't actually been to the village yet. He's just making like big assumptions about what will be there. So it's a little weird to me. Because I feel like there should be something here. It would be like, ah, yes, and then the curse mark would appear here or something. Like I just don't know. Like, did someone just like leave a piece of paper with like the symbol of the curse Brent as like a signature, being like, aha, I went through here. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Because all of it's supposed to obviously be trying to hint at this bigger mystery of all, like, ah, yes, it was me, Fia, the whole time. I was the evil traitor in the round table, right? Like, they're clearly trying to pull that where, oh, the kind, nice little whore woman is, like, giving you all her hugs and her love and all that stuff, and don't you feel so, aha, psych! You know, that type of thing. Also, sorry if I sound extra unhinged today. It may be the lack of sleep. I don't know. Can't tell you. But anyway, my point is, like, it's a little out there for me in regards to, like, Fia's apparently just leaving me a calling card for whatever reason. Wouldn't he have gotten it from his brother? No, because it specifically said to be in the village. He specifically says that the curse mark that he found is from within the village. And again, it's not like the actual like curse mark, like a part of the rune or whatever, like we get. Oh damn! It's supposed to be kind of like you know, like how we have sigils and crests and stuff. That idea. Sleep deprived insanity. I mean, wouldn't be the first time, you know. Okay, I can't say this. A lot of it's involved editing, and it's been having me like brush up my skills again with editing and stuff like that. And yeah, I will say that has been it's fun, you know. I miss editing. I love doing all things in the creative field, really, Chad. I love drawing, I love editing, I love even little animating every now and then if I can. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, damn, man. Like I do miss doing this. I wish I had more time, Jill. I would love to do it for my own YouTube stuff. But everybody in the poll preferred the written content anyway, so it's like, damn, I'm never doing my YouTube. That or I need to start, like, budgeting for hiring a separate editor to do YouTube content for me. But that's still, the problem is the timing. I have to do also all the scripting for that, too, separately. Like, oh, God. Oh, time. But yeah, it's supposed to be, like, D is over there. And he comes over here, or, well, he's coming over here, because he's like, oh, yes, that village over there. I fear it's very likely that there is a mariner. Like, essentially, that's what he says. Right? Like, he's clearly being like, ah, yeah, signs of death here. Like, he's been tracked, like, he's, you know, he's a hunter, and he's, you know, doing his hunt, and he tracks down death to this village. And he's like, oh, no, I found this man who escaped it, but he's been inflicted, and, well, now he's going to die, but at least he won't become one of those who live in death. I voted videos. I know, Xavier. You were being a trooper there. You were like being the contrarian of all time, and I love you for it. You were holding strong. Anyway, so yeah, he supposedly like tracks death down to this village. But I guess the idea maybe is like he searches the village while we fight the mariner. And then he goes back to his spot for what? Again, I'll be honest. I think they just didn't think this through that much. I think they just were like, okay, well, what happens if you return to D before going to the round table? Oh, we'll have a dialogue for that. I just don't think they thought through the scenario that well, because it really doesn't make much sense to me in the open world format that the game is set in. That we basically just leave D, kill the mariner, come back, and D is like still there at the corpse or whatever. I thought I saw sunflowers. I guess I'm crazy. Yeah, I guess I'm crazy. Must be these Roa that I missed. Respectfully, you should do whatever you damn well please. Yeah, but you know, I do have heavy respect for the guys. You know, there's no point in me doing the video content if you guys don't want to watch it anyway, you know. So if people would prefer that I finish off my written stuff, you know, I want to work on my written stuff too. Again, I'm looking forward to when all this is done. Elden Ring, I'm willing to like kind of let sit and like let it be a slow burn, because there's just so much of it. It's like, man, there's no point in me trying to rush myself through it anyway. But like Bloodborne, I definitely want to. I'm looking forward to getting that done. Obviously, I'm very happy with getting DS2 basically done. Same thing with 3. Yeah, that makes me very happy. Okay. Let us see. Smoldering wall. Yeah, nothing here that I care about. Anything death related that I would also care to. Not really. I mean, what would be covered in Godwyn besides him getting married? The corruption of the tree. Yeah, the way the corruption spreads, the mechanics and nature of Deathroot and those who live in death. Probably talk about the... Yeah, probably would end up talking about the, oh, no, damn, I just lost the word. It'll come to me. But anyway, like, you know, going through, like, you know, all that stuff on Torm's... Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. On the Rotten Bod, you know, the Crawling Carrion and the Rotten Hollow bodies, right? Like, those I'll probably cover in, like, Marika Breaking the Elden Ring, which I think I've decided, chat, I think I'm going to call it Orders Breaking. Again, we can finally retire Xavier's awesome placeholder he gave us. Marika's Descent no more. I think I'm going to call the topic Orders Breaking. I think that's the best way to get it across in a way, so that way it hits all my check boxes I want. So that I think is what we're going to be calling that. I think that's where I'm going to put all this stuff here, because I am assuming that all of this is a symptom of the order breaking. Those lost in death. Those lost in death, again, correct me if I'm wrong, from what I understand, those have more to do with like the ancient death cult stuff with like death birds and stuff. So I feel like that would be where I'd want to talk about that. I think you should also vary the type of content, also get better. I mean, that's one of the nice things about working on, like, okay, I come out with some Elden Ring stuff, and I'll come up with my Bloodborne, and oh, I'm feeling like doing a Dark Souls 3 today, you know, like that is one of the nice things about getting the topics, is I can get you pull you guys on, like, you know, the different stuff you want to get, and I'm like, okay, so this is like my timetable of what I should try to prioritize or whatever, right? But whatever comes out first comes out, you know. I never would have believed in a million years I'd be coming out with what's it called? Glow My Queen, you know? Never in my life. I was like, oh, that, you know, that's gonna be like years and years down the road, and then it's like, oh, well, you know, I ironically, when I had lack of sleep. It's amazing what happens when you're in a fugue state, you know? It's like everything's like a reverie. Rykard's another topic. I'm getting like Rykard's one of those things where I feel like I'm itching more and more, especially after working on Black Knives, because I 100% want to cut the stuff on Rykard from the Night of the Black Knives and cover it in. Oh, that's the exhaustion finally hitting. Covering it in the. Oh no! Oh yeah, covering in Rykard as a main thesis. And then I can also cover like these guys and stuff. Like I can talk about like Volcano Cave and like the guys out here. You assholes! There's also the dead who yet live. Yeah, those are just the tarnished. Those are just tarnished. A trails into reverie, if you will. Yeah, there. Yeah, go. I'm leaving my trails into reverie. That's for sure. Trails Beyond the Horizon is coming officially to the west now, right? We're finally basically caught up with Japan on the stateside, across the sea. Ugh. There we go. I'm so happy that Trails is finally caught up. Never would I have thought it would happen. Granted, it's because they keep on delaying Trails, but you know what? I'm okay with that. I'd rather they remake the older games. I'd much rather. It also gives me time to catch up. Yeah, so many different names around death. Yeah, I will say this. I'm not looking forward for the Godwyn analysis, writing those who live in death. I find that name so goddamn awful. Like, just call them the Living Dead. Why? Why, Miyazaki? Why do you gotta give them the dumbass name? It's like in Fire Emblem, those who slither in the dark. Like, god damn it. Like, just call them the Dark Slitherers localizers. I beg you. Like, come up with something. It is so, like, it makes me, like, chuckle every time. It's like, ah, yes, those who slither in the dark. It's like, oh, okay. Like, do we have to say it all dramatic, like, every single goddamn time, too? Anyway, same thing with Those Who Live in Death for me. Yeah, nothing really, Rykard related outside of Redmane Castle, right? It's got 2, or was it just 1? I think it's 1 with the alternative, right? Like where they alternate between the 2. Oh, did I must have killed it on this character. I don't remember why. I know one of my characters, we saw a lion fall through the floor and die, but I don't remember if the lion respawns or not. I guess we killed. Am I crazy, chat? I could have swore there was. Well, there's no enemies here either, are there? Oh, that's probably it. Yeah, I think it's just because there's no. Yeah, I think we're in the fight Radon phase. Yeah. Also gives them more time to play the next game better, so remakes are good. Yeah, overall, I think the remakes are wonderful. I think it's great. I think it's good Falcom is going back. I think the Trails in the Sky remake has been, at least so far, the best remake I've ever played in my life. So I support them, like, doing all of the Sky games, then do the Crossbell games. And hell, by the time you're done with that, you could probably also work on the Cold Steel games. At least the first 2. The first 2 could definitely use some lovin'. I'd also like some story changes, you know, but, you know, that's never going to happen with Cold Steel. Never going to happen. They're never going to fix Cold Steel. Localized love their melodrama and flowery poses for, like, I get it when you have terms that are kind of written that way, where it's like, yeah, if you want to render it literally, like, do that, but it's like, it is so awkward, right? It's just so awkward. It's like, those who live in death, those who live in death, those who live in death. Like, at some point, I'm like, just call them the Living Dead. Like, it's the natural term that we would use, and it gets across the exact same idea. Like, it's one of those things where, like, maybe, like, use the literal meaning, like, once or twice, you know, maybe the first time that you, like, have it or something, like, those who live in, you know, when you're, like, doing, like, the ominous, like, reference or something, and then, like, in a future conversation, just have them be like, ah, yes, the Living Dead, you know, like, there's so many ways to approach it, and I just don't, I personally do not approve of sticking to that kind of wordy choice, you know? No, you gotta call, you know, you gotta call your balls and strikes on your own when it comes to localizing or any type of translation, right? But, like, that's really one of those where I'm like, I'm sorry, I just don't think that was a good decision. We love Cold Steel in this house. This ain't your house, I am. Get out! Out my property! Yeah, so, like, I'm very happy with, like, you know, them doing, like, the remakes and all that stuff, and I'm so excited for second chapter. I'm glad it's coming out in, like, September, so I have time. I have all the time in the world to finish first chapter. Hopefully they'll do the third. I saw the devs were, like, talking about whether or not they want to go straight to Crossbell or a third. I'm like, no, you sit your ass down. You doing Kevin's story. There ain't no way you skipping. You know, no way you're skipping my boy. You're remaking that title and adding like 10 billion more content to it because, god damn it, it deserves it. The only thing I'm afraid of is if they remake the third, that they're gonna censor it. I hope not. Like, God, I hope not. Please, please, I'm begging you, Falcom. You have to keep it uncensored. That's all I'm asking. It's one of those things where maybe you have to do it only with artwork, like in the original, right? Because I know what happens if they create a model for it. You just know. I'm sure it already exists, but you just know what people would do if they had models for some of that stuff. But like you gotta make sure that you don't try to lessen it. It's literally, I think, one of their best sequences. Loki hates hearing the full legal name of Fia's family. Listen, adopted family. She's not a real one. She ain't a true member. She's a whore. She wormed her way in there. She's a homewrecker. She's ruining that good old pure golden clan. It's either skipping the third or Star Wars 15 getting censored. No! Please don't! I beg you! You think the FC remake better than Resident Evil 1's? Okay, so here's my position on the Resident Evil 1 remake. I don't think it's that much of a remake by comparison. Like, that's a game where I feel like it's more of a remaster than a remake, if that makes sense, right? I could see the same argument being made to Shadow of the Colossus, except that one is one that legitimately, from what I understand, like they remade everything from like the ground up with that game. But like, yeah, I feel like Trails is the one where like they made so many changes and pretty much all of them were the right choice. Like I could probably quibble like here or there, especially when it comes to the localization side of things, right? But in terms of like the actual like core game or whatever, right? Like if I looked at it just as like, you know, the Japanese product, right? It's really hard for me to think of a game that manages to stay true to its original while changing things up in so many ways. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to it. Like I feel like there's very few remakes where there's so many significant changes on how like the actual game is, right? Like there's a huge difference between playing Trails isometric with the original purely turn-based system and what we got in the remake with First Chapter. And I love it. I absolutely adore it. I'm having so much fun with First Chapter. Like I'm gonna be so sad when First Chapter ends because First Chapter might be, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still my favorite of the entire Trails games. Like, I definitely think it's still my number one. So it's going to be one of those that it's like, damn, I'm going to hate saying goodbye to this one. If they censor it, I would have invade Falcom headquarters and have a conversation with Kondo. Yeah, especially with you know, the future developments and stuff that happen with characters and plot beats. It's one of those things where it's like, this is just so essential to the characters that I'm like, you can't censor this. Like you cannot, like you can't let that genie put that genie back in the bottle. Like you gotta like just kind of let it exist. And I don't care what they gotta do to keep that stuff uncensored. They gotta do it. That's all I have to say. I don't want any of them like self-censoring themselves or being like, oh no, or you know, maybe this was a mistake. It's like, no. It was not a mistake. Just don't. Happy New Year, Iman. I genuinely cherished every moment of that experience on my end. Been working through SE and can't wait for that iteration. Yeah, I will say this, Nick. I love SC, right? And for most people, I think people would say like SC is probably the best of the three Sky games. But I will never. The problem I have with again, this is again problem quote unquote with Trails is that like the games are so like interconnected and stuff like that having like FC be like, no, this is like the start. It's like its own game, and it's purely just like telling its story, and you can like wrap it up as like one of its like its own like little JRPG like narrative that you did a one and done for, and it would be this wonderfully beautiful, quaint little game. Like I absolutely love that, and it's something that I like everything that I can appreciate in later games. I have to always be like, you know, it's building upon its predecessor and what it's done with its predecessor and all that stuff. So that always like kind of like gets in my brain of being like, you know. Like I think Cold Steel 1 is probably the best of the four Cold Steel titles, mainly because Cold Steel 1 is again one of those where it really kind of feels like it's not like there's definitely a lot of stuff where it is building upon past stuff, but it's definitely the one that feels the most independent of the Cold Steel franchise. And it's one of those where I feel like it also has some of the least writing problems I have with the Cold Steel franchise. But yeah, God, man, I just want to see second chapter and the third remade. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm also curious what they're gonna do with some of the voice acting and stuff with that, because they've definitely done like some recast for certain characters that either you know, like they were gonna get Troy Baker back as Olivier. Like Matt Mercer's been doing it for the dub for a long time, and I'm also surprised that the JP cast got changed out, because they've been doing it for so long and they only kept like Olivier and I think Zin, right? And Olivier, well, they're not getting rid of Olivier's for obvious reasons, you know. But like for the others, I was like, damn, man. Like, I know Falcom can be like penny pinchers when it comes to budget and stuff, but I really wish they went all out and be like, no, we're gonna make sure that we're gonna pay for the full cast and everything and all that stuff. But I kind of get it also, because I understand that the remake hasn't been selling like hotcakes in Japan itself. It's mostly sold more overseas. So like doing all that big budget that has it eat up into your overseas sales, right? Because you may be not making enough to really make it that worth it in the domestic market. Like, I get that, making that calculation and stuff like that. It's still like, damn, like you have these people who have been like doing it for so long, and yeah, you know, they're bigger VAs now, they're probably more expensive or whatever, but damn, man, like they have been the characters. But the new cast has been good so far from what I've seen online. So I prefer SE story, but overall in terms of pacing and quality and a certain character, I love the third more. How do I feel about third's pacing? The thing with third is that third is the most that feels like it's the most video gamey, if that makes sense, right? I know that's kind of weird to say with Trails, but like it's the one that definitely feels like the most like, oh, you know, it's like a video game, right? So that always detracts from it for me, right? Considering that, like, you know, how much immersion you get into, and then you get stuff where it's kind of like, you know, this feels like this was done because it's a game. But like overall, I feel like if I had to rank them, like I said, FC would probably definitely be my favorite. Then would have to be SC and then the third. Yeah, probably. I would probably go in descending order, which is weird because it's like, it's not like I feel like Sky gets worse over time. It's just like, again, it's because of my criteria about like how I try to evaluate stories and you credit, right? Like, you know, it's the same thing I say where like I love Dark Souls 3 more than I probably should love Dark Souls 3, but I can't give Dark Souls, like put Dark Souls 3 above Dark Souls 1 when so much of what I like about Dark Souls 3 is built on the backs of Dark Souls 1 and to a lesser extent 2 even, right? Yeah, there's not a lot of death here, unsurprisingly, in Caelid. So I didn't really see anything that really caught my eye for that. We have a little bit of right card stuff, but nothing too crazy, and there's nothing else here that really catches me. Like I said, the Godric stuff with the Tarnish hunts, I have to sit down and think of how I'm going to expand on that. Astrologers. Astrologers another huge one. That's another problem. That one's more, it's like, it's a bunch of little things, but like they stack up and they add up and they kind of like, you know, intersect with each other a lot. So it's like, dang. Would you say the Cold Steel games are the DS2 of Trails? No. That would be an insult to Trails. Even at its worst, Cold Steel is a perfectly functional and serviceable game. So no, I would not insult Falcom by saying they pumped out a DS2. I would never in my life say that, no matter how much I might criticize Cold Steel. Yeah, we know, we don't care. We have the dead tree there, and we have the cult stuff. So I'm thinking, looking at the cult stuff, and we have some slugs here, nothing too crazy to my Actually, now I'm wondering, could the slugs? Because I'm having now questions about the moat. So where does the moat water come from? Like, could it be that the sewer is dumping stuff into sewage into the moat? Or is the water from rain and stuff falling and then coming into the sewers? I don't remember seeing crabs in the underground, but I do remember the slugs, obviously, in the pipe, so that's definitely a thing. Oh. We all know Reverie's actually the best one. I will say, I do like the third type games, in terms of what they do for, like, you know, letting you be able to just kind of enjoy more of the world and the character interactions and stuff. You know, that's something I do appreciate a lot about those types of games. Which is why I don't have... I know some people, like, they absolutely hate those types of things. They're like, no, I just want it all to be like the RPG or whatever, right? Like, I'm like, you know, I like that they exist, right? I think they're an excellent way to kind of, like, take a break after, like, completing a major story arc, if that makes sense. So they have the thing that would make you go, oh. Conscripts. Like the hoods we see on the bodies inside. But they do the DS stuff. Now, granted, the death stuff has the branding here. So this might be the idea. Maybe the idea is that there was a citizen who is part of, like, this death cult stuff. And let me double check. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. 1 second. I guess I'll have to switch characters. I had to double check to make sure I'm not misremembering, because I don't remember exactly what our guys here do. Let's go to Corey. Come on. Ah, there you are. Whew. There we go. Oh, is the Dawn of the Shackles of the Necromancer? Yeah, that's what I was wondering, is how closely do they match here? Yeah, they don't. They don't got the hood things. I think they have different belts too, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, I can't do this. That's crazy. I gotta do this, okay. I wonder if they're just worshipping the Erd Tree just through the lens of death and its root infection. It could be. There could be this, again, there could be this idea as like a separate cult. But the thing is just like, they use the sigil, I'm pretty sure, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure, oh, there it is. I'm pretty sure they use the sigil when they cast their magic. Like, don't they cast like Fia's Death Mist or whatever, right? So it could just be, oh, they independently discovered or whatever. But the fact that they use the brand and everything, it does make me think like they have to be part of like an actual larger cult. And if there is a larger cult, then I can totally imagine Fia sending some of these cultists to places like Summon Water or whatever to spread the death or whatever, because they'll be like, I'm just an ordinary citizen, and then they just like spread the death root and crap, you know, just sprinkle that shit all over. I was thinking of the frenzy ones then, I guess you were, because those are supposed to be ordinary citizens then. But yeah, we have we still have the conscripts on there. So all these guys should be conscripts. This one I'm willing to just chalk up to being, yeah, these guys are conscripts, but they just haven't really changed. Even though obviously their darker uniform fits better with them like switching out their wardrobe to be like death culty or whatever. But pretty sure the idea is supposed to be they're probably like some of the soldiers who fought in the defense of Langdell, like the Omen guy, and like, you know, the Omen discovered the death stuff and teaching some of the citizen soldiers, right? super intriguing bit of world building there. Well, again, the thing for me is just trying to establish why exactly the whole crest thing is, right? Now, if the idea is, okay, we have like this isn't just a one-off. There is an organized cult here. I'm like, okay, that would explain it. Because like Fia can't be doing what she's doing if she doesn't have they don't have agents and stuff like that are helping her on her behalf and all that stuff, right? And then she like needs us to be like her unwitting agent to help her get like the Knife Prince to help Rogier and then thereby help her and all that stuff, right? And it's obvious like the reason Fia's at the round table is because she's biding her time to get her hands on the Rune of Death that the round table supposedly has. Which again, I find this interesting because it pretty much confirms that when in order for them to have their hands on it, considering how much trouble everyone's going to find, you know, the Deep-Root Depths and get to Godwyn throughout like a significant portion of the history, it's very clear that this is happening when the Tarnished were still friendly with Morgott and stuff. So like whatever happened here that ends up disconnecting. Oh yeah, you know, now that I think about it, yeah, this specific section here in the east, you know, yeah. Anyway, whatever ends up going on with Morgott and the Tarnished when they were all friendly and stuff, that ends up causing the destruction that ends up separating it. So it can't happen until after the Tarnished get kicked out, basically. In which case, that makes a lot of sense because it explains it would definitely support why Fia is even familiar with Godwyn and all that stuff in the first place. How the Tarnished are able to get their hands on the cursed mark of death or whatever and bring it into the round table and stuff like that. Like all of that makes sense in that scenario. Also, of course, like the D's and stuff going after Godwyn and all that jazz. The only question I have is I'm still not entirely sure. I guess it could be contemporary. Like this is the biggest problem I have is like trying to figure out how early are we allowed to put the destruction of the Nameless Eternal City, right? Because you have the body still flowing down and stuff like that, and you know all that with the corpse flow and piles and stuff like that. So let's say like that. Let's say that's supposed to tell us everything that's happened within the last few months. So that if it's been like a few months at most, that maybe as far as like Nameless Eternal City's timeline is concerned, right? With them like, you know, collecting the bodies and, you know, sending them downriver or them flowing downriver on their own or whatever. And obviously the roots growing out, right? With the collapsed stuff, the water, of course, starting to flood and starting to kill the trees and all that. Deathbed communities would be fun to read about. I think I would enjoy doing a topic on them, but I feel like, again, most Tarnished NPCs, I just don't think are high priority. I feel like in terms of like, you know, like maybe I'll just get the urge to do it like with the Dawn and be like, okay, I already know like all the lore for this, so let me just like pump it out in a day. I could probably do that, but like I at the moment I'm like I don't want to like delve too deep into like Deathbed Companions and the history and you know their thing and all that stuff. Because I'd rather try to focus on purely the Lands Between stuff, if that makes sense. But as far as like all the stuff with like the cult and things like that for Fia, that I definitely feel like I want to get at least some clarity on, just so that way it helps me better understand like the timeline we got going with Godwyn and everything. There's like, you know, yeah, it's one of these things where it's like, oh, you know, like, you know, it's not that complicated, but then you have to think about it, you're like, oh god, there's a lot more variables than you initially think about of like, oh yeah, no, this has to happen and that has to happen and that's going on at the same time and that's playing into the other. Oh, lol. You didn't see that. You didn't see that. They didn't see anything. Those basilisks, those eyes are fake, chat. They didn't see anything. We're safe. There we go. Yeah, there's not too much death here besides the staff stuff. And, like, that could be anybody, right? Like theoretically, anybody could have made one of those staves. Especially a Nox city. It's like, oh, wow. What a shocker. Someone doing sorcery in my sorcery city. There's the funny mention alluding to their origin with Trisha. Okay, so it's not trying to say that they originate with Trisha. It's trying to say how the way that the Deathbed Companions work and how they as a order began is very similar to what we see with Trisha and like the, you know, tending to the dead and giving them like a, you know, a wonderful, you know, comfort and farewell at the end and all that stuff, right? Like that's sort of like the point being made is how, like, you know, the situation, at least in broad strokes with the perfumers, is mirroring a lot of what we see with deathbed companions, which again you can see the parallels. I saw Loki fall 3 to 5 times today. Man, that must be a lucky new year for you, I am. No, I know that. I just wanted to clarify in case anyone didn't, Xavier. Don't worry. Yet. Now I'm like, Deathblight corruption. Makes things simpler for me. I do love how you have like remnants of buildings and stuff here, and it's like, I wonder if the idea is that like the I wonder if the idea is if these two areas were actually more directly connected, right? Like the rivers. They have all the water here and stuff, right? I don't know, it's a bit silly if they didn't put a waterfall or something here then, right? But they might have felt that probably got in the way of you being able to more clearly see this, right? I don't know, I would want a waterfall here regardless. Anyway, but I wonder if the idea is supposed to be like this area was more directly connected. But that obviously had to change for purposes of traversal. So the idea is now like, yeah, you know, with all the destruction and everything, this ended up collapsing and the waterway is no longer, you know, it's no longer direct. It still seems to be flowing though. So it's getting its water from underground or something. Also makes the trees look closer to the underground river trees. That's true. It does make them look a lot more like the old great trees for sure. The great forest of old. The ancient bowers. Oh. Yeah, so I feel like when it comes to death and stuff like that, I think we've got most of the things there because there really isn't that much to cover. Especially if I cover like all the instances of those who live in death in like their own article separately. It's like just a prima facie, yeah, this exists, accept it. I really am just trying to explain some of the mechanics and stuff with Godwyn. Maybe obviously Fortisax obviously needs to get to that means probably have to do a shot run with Fortisax at some point. I don't even remember. I think you have to complete Fia's questline to do that, though, right? So, oh boy, that's gonna be awkward. But yeah, we can get shots of Fortisax. No Rajier. I guess like no Rajier beyond talking about like, you know, anything involving like the affliction of Deathblight and stuff like that. Obviously, talk about basilisks. Talk about the crabs. We should remember that the crabs, the water, the milky water. Don't need to talk about the mausoleum guys because they're probably going in Mikola. Yeah, I think that's it. Like anything additional would be like anything I might find about like the characterization of the Prince of Death, right? But I don't feel like there's anything too major that wouldn't be probably more relevant to Fia. You have to do Fia's quest, yeah. Oh boy. Oh brother. Also, there are room bears down here. I just thought I wanted to highlight that we can't even escape room bears underground. Actually, actually probably worth noting how the rune bears might be indicating migration, migration with the underground. Because correct me if I'm wrong, with the above ground, I should say. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we have that many instances of rune bears underground outside of here, do we? Like, I'm struggling to think of another time where they just throw a rune bear at you. Yeah, so I'm thinking like you could maybe make a talk about rune bears fighting their way and migrating down roads and passageways of some sort, you know, existing obviously. I can't really think of anything else with the rune bears of where they could be, so I'm gonna assume these are the only two instances we get to at least see them underground. Oh, whoops. Rune bears in caves. Well, yeah, caves, sure, that's fair. But I'm talking about not just caves, but like all the way down here in the deep roots, you know? I guess you could maybe make a case that they somehow burrowed here, right? I suppose that's a possibility. Yeah, I think this is the only time. Because we have Shifra, there's definitely not an Aedsel. Yeah, there's plenty of wildlife here, but no rune bears. I don't think there are even regular bears down here. We have wolves, though. Because goddamn wolves get everywhere, man. Yeah, Nox is another one where at least I have good portions of it written because you know, older Trees Beginning had some of that stuff in it. So that's nice. Not really got anything else I can really. Yeah, not really got much of anything else to add there. Like I said, Orders Breaking will cover stuff with Crawling Carrion, or you know, the Waradin Hollows, or maybe I don't know if I'm gonna cover Tarnished here. I don't know. It's could be awkward. I definitely have to cover the stuff with Ratigan and Marika, which also reminds me, at some point I need to do a Ratigan post. When Stormwolves and Hallis Loki. God knows when I'll be talking about those goddamn Stormwolves. It's even weirder because, like, okay, you encounter them at Stormvale. Okay, sure, whatever. Then you encounter them at Gelmir, and it's like, what the hell? Why do we have wolves that are, like, crashing themselves down like this, my brother? I don't get it. Like, the probably the safest answer would be, like, you know, they just do that. You know, they just fall from crazy heights now. Just kind of take it in stride and just be like, okay, yeah, sure. I was like, I got so many other fantastical crap I have to worry about. Do I really have to worry now about this? You know? I don't know. Frickin' flying wolves, man. How do they work? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've cleared, like, anything I'm gonna really find of value in this area. Dead bodies. They use the elevator. Rune bears using elevators would be funny to imagine. Like a rune bear on a unicycle, you know? I would pay to see a rune bear on a unicycle because I'd hope it get its toe caught in and have it twist around forever and put in excruciating pain. Damn rune bears. I almost dislike you as much as I hate and detest those those absolutely abominable silvers. Yeah, that's just frenzy. Yeah, I feel like we've gotten shots of most of what I would want in terms of areas. I think now it would probably be bosses and maybe individual enemies. They just do that, low-key 2026. Listen. You survive off 2 hours of sleep in 72 hours, and You get back to me on that. Wolves commuting to Nocron, lol. Can you just imagine the like I'm just trying to imagine like the wolves, like they because the doors open automatically. I noticed with the what are they called, the wells, like when you get close to them they start opening on their own. So it's like, you know, it wouldn't be that hard for the wolves to get in. The question is, how do they operate the lever without opposable thumbs? But hey, if dogs can figure it out with some good training, I'm sure those wolves will be resourceful enough to do it. Just gotta push the lever. Now, I think we've got, yeah, oh, how could I forget worm faces? I have to talk about worm faces. So worm face are gonna get covered a bit. Might talk about the worm face that's like, you know, just kind of chilling over there with the dead bodies. Oh, we got the, yeah, I have to talk about the dimensional stuff with Farm Azula too, with like, not just Farm Azula, but Realm of Shadows, the same thing. So talk about that stuff there. Obviously talk about Death Knights. That's not going to be that crazy though. You know, their lore is pretty basic. Like I'm not expecting more than a paragraph or two on them. Yeah, probably is getting the timing for everything else to set up. Because like I said, part of that has to get coordinated with like the Mikola stuff too, maybe. But like if I can like narrow down like timeline of like, you know, okay, this has to happen before that, and that has to happen before that, right? Like that helps organize things, man, because you know it's one less variable to have to be constantly calculating for. Are you do you struggle with sleep, or are you just busy cooking? Nah, it's always when I'm on a roll with something. I'm always you know, if I'm not tired, I work, and if I'm working, I can you know get into it. Like literally just last night I was like, holy crap, it's 6 a.m. I thought it was still 9, you know, like I was just kind of like, I was like really into it and like going ham. Yeah, that's just how it be sometimes when you're doing it, right? Like when inspiration strikes you. Yeah, can't forget the worm face snails either. Same thing with them. Yeah, the slowing spit thing, I don't know what I'm going to make of that, you know? I wonder if that's just kind of like, oh, we had like this enhanced version and then we made it, we skinned it to be the worm face one eventually. I wonder if it's something like that. That's the only thing I got, I really need to, I forgot, quote unquote, right? And I need to really add is the worm faces, because they're obviously important. And most everything else here, I feel like we don't really need to grab. Like I said, it's mostly bosses. Morgott. Okay. Wait a second. There we go. So Morgott and the Shattering is probably gonna be the weirdest one, because what do you get as a reference image for that? Like, you have the one cinematic trailer one. I guess maybe I could get some mileage out of few, because there are little details maybe I could include. But, like, generally speaking, like, there really isn't that much. Yeah, I'm trying to think about that. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Nothing else is coming to mind, though. That might be the delirium. Always possible. Sometimes I just want to crawl inside your mouth and just accept my eternal fate in the darkness, Mr. Lizard. But then I remember you're a fucking petrifier. Wow, Dancing Light uses Deathlight. Do I want to include that? Or do I keep that separate? I wonder. I do have to mention, that does remind me, I should probably make sure I include mention of those who live in death specifically here. Mostly because not only is it obviously the giant size, but then we can see that even the gravekeepers of the graveyard have been affected by the Godwin stuff here. Right? We got the bugs. I think the weirdest part about this area is that you can actually clearly see these things, you know? Could always use concept art. I wonder for how much value I could get out of concept art though, you know? I do wonder. Cause like that does make sense as an option, but it's like, is there enough concept art of the quote unquote Shattering and or Morgott for me to really like, you know, fill it out? Granted, I don't really need that many reference images, right? Just enough to really kind of, you know, serve the purpose and like break up the text a decent amount. So like I don't need to go ham or anything. I can't tell if those are its eyes or just more mouths, you know? So they feel out of place in the light. I can definitely see that. I get what they're going for because they still have the shadowy effect, so it's a really creepy silhouette. But yeah, they fit better inside the really dark tombs. Like having him kind of here with the black skin, it just looks a little awkward, you know? I just realized the holes are supposed to be because of the death stuff. Right, because like, you know, they you know, it does the thorny things, but also does the holes for whatever reason. Because it's incomplete. It's thematically symbolic of all the emptiness that Godwin feels because he's not with his other half, Ronnie. Ronnie and God. Wait, why isn't that a crack ship? Why don't we have any Ronnie X Godwins? Where is my Ronwin? My Ranwin? My Ronwin. My Godney. Oh, the best part is you could do that with so many different demigods for Ronnie. Like just Godric and Ronnie could also be Godney. That's so funny. Oh no, Godwinnie. Oh my god, it's so perfect. Godwinnie. That should be the ship name. Oh, I love talking about ships on a ship, you know? I think having pictures of the demigods' personal chairs in their castles to juxtapose the Alliance chairs would be fun. Okay, so how many chairs do we have, though? Like, does Radahn have a chair at Castle Morn? Not real. Sorry, not Castle Morn. At Castle Redmane? Ronnie Godwin shouldn't be a thing. That doesn't stop the shippers, you know this. You know that doesn't stop the shippers. They will construct a ship out of anything. It doesn't matter what the material is. They will find a way. They are America's greatest source of ingenuity. We were able to win World War II because of the shippers. But yeah, I need to talk about the gravekeepers here, right? And, you know, whatever relation to the skeletons and stuff as well. I don't know if I want to talk about... Yeah, I don't think we need to talk about the Death Dragon, though, because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Death Dragon is affected by the stuff that involves those who live in death, and all the lore seems to more tie it as just, like, the general, like, suppressing death thing they have here, so kind of like Xavier was saying earlier, those who are lost in death type of thing, I would hazard. Isn't there a chair in front of the Star Altar? It's not really a throne, though, but... we do have the chairs there. Let's go have ourselves a look-see. Let's go have ourselves a look-see, chair. Okay, fine. Be that way. God. They do take extra damage from it. Okay, so that might be worth considering then. I'll do this one. I know they made the actual little hemiciclium bigger. right? Because the whole ceremonial stuff. I don't remember if any of the chairs were bigger. Yeah, no, the chairs are all the same size, it looks like. There's a bunch of them surrounding. All right. We do have the chair here, but again, it's just like a chair that we obviously know who pulled this one up. It's one of the several we can see. Is it over here? I know one of the I know the chairs are. One of them is around here. Or is it downstairs and I'm crazy? I might be crazy, chat. What else is new? Or sleep deprived. It very much could be the sleep deprivation. Yeah, I have no idea. I thought there were more of those chairs. Maybe I'm crazy. Well, ain't that a sight? Burn, rune, burn. All right. Farum Azula is one. Farum Azula is one where I could get lots of shots for, because there's so much crap. There's so much crap in Farum Azula, and I can probably always find more. So that what's. So if I just jump into the topic of Farum Azula. Yeah, I think I could probably get away with it because I don't need to talk about the Elden Beast or Meter and them coming down as stars in any way. So I could like just kind of shove those questions to the side and just focus on the Dragon's aspect. There's one on the balcony? Okay. Nope. Yeah, I could have swore there was more, but I do not. Ah, there it is. Okay. We also know who was sitting here. Okay, yeah, I was like, I remember existing. I could not find it. This one doesn't have the armrest though. Fascinating. You're just getting insights. Ah, my brain, it trembles. Uh-huh. There we go. Is our friend here? Indeed, she is. I was like, this is one of those mixed ones. You ain't going anywhere, lady. You stay right there. I do love all the fact that the AI causes this. Yeah, nothing really crazy to look at here. I've given my 2 cents on this already. Mesmer's Crusade's another one, but the problem with Mesmer's Crusade is I have to cover Mesmer's Crusade, and that's like, oh. It's one of those I'm kind of like, I'm just gonna be bored. Because there's not a lot of interesting stuff going on with the environmental storytelling in terms of battles and like the war effort and all that stuff. Like, it's definitely one of those where it's like Miyazaki just kind of has like a shrug and be like, yeah, they kind of just fought. Not too much extra thought being put in to convey how and why they fought, where and why. Take a shot every time I frickin' yawn tonight, chat. You'd already be drunk by now. Merc, water catacombs here, yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything too much to say about some of the locations and stuff. They generally seem to be random. In terms of Deathroot, I should clarify. Heretics Rise, another one. I have to talk about that somewhere, but I don't know where right now. Heretics Rise, I know we're talking about that one with Miquella. 100%. 100%. Quito. Oh. I don't remember what that one has, or if it even has anything at all. All right, so let's see. That truly would be the ship of Theseus. Rodney and Godwyn. Okay, at what point does it stop being a ship about Rodney and Godwyn and being one with the horrid abomination that Rodney had turned Godwyn into? Yeah, I feel like for the purposes of my analysis, I will be treating Godwyn and the Death Prince as probably like separate characters. We'll have to see how it plays out in practice because I might still want to like pepper Godwyn's name around. But generally speaking, I think I'm going to be treating Godwyn as like his own separate person from the Death Prince and what the Death Prince wants, desires, wills, behaves, you know, all that. Oh yeah. Also, I know this is very random, but it came to my. I saw that Kaguya-sama is getting an anime original ending with the next film or whatever, and they're skipping a lot of the manga stuff now. I haven't had the chance to actually finish the Kaguya manga, though I did hear on the JP side that it was not that great. So it's one of those things where it's like, well, the author wants to redo the ending for this series. Like, okay, but you're skipping a lot of content for it. Granted, I also hear that a lot of the later chapters in Kaguya were also kind of like time wasting and stuff like that. So maybe it'll be fine if they cut them. I guess we'll have to see. But, you know, like skipping like 80-ish chapters or whatever it was, that's always makes me nervous because it's like, damn, there might be like major characterization or like, you know, character development in that. I don't know if, like, are we going to just replicate that, or are we going in, like, a completely different direction with the characters and stuff now? Like, I'm wondering about that. I am wondering, and then, I'm looking forward to, like, you know, catching up on a bunch of series and stuff like that. But I could definitely probably finish the Kaguya manga before then. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be in a rush. Not like catching up with the manga is going to make me watch the anime any faster with my pacing. There's nothing else really Rykard related here, which is unfortunate because they have the portrait in Rykard's manor, but there's like absolutely nothing I can think of in terms of items or anything here, so. Oh, for a second I thought I just like burst myself into the flames. Okay, we don't care about that one. Liurnian, no, sorry, not Liurnian. I already have Liurnian Wars and Liurnian Civil War done, so I need to like kind of like dump those from my brain. So when it comes to the astrologers, I think we have the shots I want for that one in terms of like the environmental stuff. Like I've got all the conifers documented. I have all the stuff on the rivers and the lakes, I'm pretty sure, and the crystal formations. I have all the stuff in regards to Gate Town and the Academy. If I'm missing anything specific I want to get in the future, I can always just go back. You know, for the sake of just double checking, let's go through the graveyard real quick. But I feel like I've already got like most of what I would want to covered. In terms of like, you know, outlined and all that jazz in the visual medium. So really it would just be like if there's some really specific shots I want to grab. Yeah, so nothing crazy here. And then we go over this way. Woo! Yeah, just the gears and stuff. Just so funny because they're not even connected to anything. Yeah, I don't see them connected to anything. So if the idea is supposed to be that they're helping with the wheels, functions, or whatever, it's very lazy. Okay, could there be something else? No. No, I don't think so. Well... Okay, so it could be, the idea could be like there's all these mechanisms and stuff, and it would like go into here and somehow get down here, right? That's always possible. Like it's obviously supposed to be connected. It's just, I don't see any obvious way of how it would be contributing anything, especially when the actual gears and stuff aren't moving, which again, I'm just gonna chalk that up to laziness. The devs could be bothered. And then we're back here. Hey, little church lord, good to see you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. All right. All right, we got that. Lyrian Towers and stuff we have covered. Covering Black Knight of the Black Knives, even though again I'm not 100% happy with some of the right card stuff. I am happy with a lot of the other stuff in terms of like laying all that groundwork out, because helps answer a lot of necessary questions for me. Orders Breaking is going to be interesting in that respect, because I'm going to have the stuff with Malekith be talked to probably a little bit, though I think the most of it's going to go into Godwyn. I feel like most of it's going to have to go into the Death Prince, just because. Well, just because, like, you know, the thing with Malekith is like, there's so much focus and emphasis on collecting the Death Root. I think it would be awkward if, like, I talk about, like, all things with Godwyn and Death Root and stuff like that, and I don't mention kind of, like, the Malekith and the... maybe I won't. Maybe I'll separate it off. I don't know. Maybe I'm taking the crazy pills here. I may be nuts, so... So we got that covered. We got that. The wells, again, the Nox stuff would be something separate. I feel like most of that, now that I've like firmly got the timeline in my head about like relation between the Nox and the ancient dynasties, I'm pretty sure I could do a Nox thesis like pretty holistically. I'd have to skip talk about like I'll talk about Celia or Ordina and stuff like that, but I'm not going to talk about the human contributions to those colonies until obviously separate relevant analysis afterwards. So I think that's how that's gonna have to go. So that's all covered. Like we said, Worm Faces here. Yeah, covering the Godskins really knocked off a lot off the board here. Right card's definitely important in terms of like there's just all the stuff going on Volcano Manor, all the little details here, all the soldiers fighting outside and the battles happening there, the stuff with the frenzy even, and then you also have Volcano Cave and all that stuff to talk about with demi-humans and all that. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's anything I've missed when it comes to exploring this place. Those are just boxes, not a hole. So I'm pretty sure we've already got what we needed covered, you know? Why are you guys burning your chimney? It's already hot. Right. Just more dead bodies. I guess this is useful just to be like, look, see the bodies that piled up here right next to and into this guy's bed. I guess there is still, you could argue a question about if these are like the enemy bodies or the friendly conscript bodies. Like, could these be could this literally be the citizens of this very town, you know? Hello, my nude friend. Is there any special item from this one? I want to say no. I think it's just the rewards for the items here. Oh yeah, talk about the right card stuff with the quarantine and things like that with the Abductor Virgin. That would be cool. Lock them up. Upstairs, we obviously know there's all the crazy stuff. Don't want to go up there right now. Probably keep this on for this area. Moving this way. Yeah, nothing crazy. More cages everywhere, you know? Make you think this place is a prison or something. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right, I think that covers all that side. Oh, this is inside the main area, not the upstairs. I mean, I'm pretty sure upstairs is unlocked though, so, right? Call me crazy? Yeah, it's unlocked. You got Rykard portrait here and here. I guess you could kind of consider this Rykard's throne, though obviously the better candidate would be, you know, the actual throne in the throne room. Other demigods with thrones. Godric doesn't have. Oh, you know, Godric kind of has one. Because he has the Elden Throne look-alike at Stormvale, right? So he kind of has one there. He also has, correct me if I'm wrong. I guess we'll go from here. I think this is how you can get to it. He also has the throne in the, well, not really a throne, but he has the bigger chair in the war room, right? Rykard's personal echo chamber, I suppose you could say that. Oh no, chairs are the same size even here. Like, damn, these demigods, they fit themselves snug. All right, so all that in mind, I definitely will do shots of the thrones, at least as a group. I don't know if I will do shots of individual thrones, because I'm going to be very much kind of brushing over a lot of that stuff. I could see a scenario, I will say this, I do see a scenario where I do want to show inside each individual analysis a shot of the individual thrones. I could definitely see that happening. I don't know if I would do it for all of them or not, but I could definitely see it happening for at least some of them. There's also a ported guide chair in the dining room, right? Let's see. There's 2 seats. No, not really. I'm not seeing any, like, man, it's really important that you eat, that you eat here, sir. Yuck. Yeah, seems pretty normal. So yeah, there's not a lot of actual, like, separate thrones in these areas. As I think closest we could probably get to is probably what we see here. With good old Nepheli. All right, so that covers, like, I think everything I'd want to cover with the Elden Ring here. Try to see if there's anything I would be missing out. Like, let's go back to the Morgott and Shattering stuff. Obviously the war, the buildup of the Alliance, there is the first defense of Langdell. So that one, I could probably get away with shots, though, of the grave monuments, the ashes for, what's his name, Kristoff. I'd probably get away with a lot, including generic scenery shots if I wanted, so. Nick, your message got retracted, so you're gonna have to send it again. You know, whenever I see that where I'm like, oh man, I just missed the message, I'm like, god damn it, YouTube, like, what the hell could they possibly be saying that is getting these messages deleted? I do not understand it. That I do not get. It's like, you see some of the things on the reasons why, and it's like, what the hell? Like, at some point, you have to kind of just accept you're making it where you can't say anywhere in the alphabet because it could be potentially some weird abbreviation or have some, like, component of it related to some naughty word you don't want us to say or something, right? Like, very much an odd duck type of situation in my eyes. Nothing really to add, I think, to these areas beyond what we're already got or are going to be covering with. There's no mine up here. There is the cave here. Northern end. Okay, so yeah, that's all covered. Obviously, Rykard also talked about the trader guy at Fort Lyde, but that's not gonna be too crazy. I don't think so. I'm not worried about that. There's more I don't think we need to, because we could just cover them in like fire giants. That's another topic maybe to work, be like, you know, fire giants. Because I definitely think I have a substantial amount of stuff to say about fire giants, even though again I don't think I have anything holistic to say about them. But maybe like just enough that I'll feel better about like talking about things, you know. Plus you never know, it could all come to me when I actually sit down and do it. It's amazing what happens when you got your gears actually turning and aren't surviving off of massive sleep deprivation. I use a strikeout tool as part of a gag. Maybe that's it. It'd be very weird to me if the action of using like a modifier that like does strikeout or something would do that, right? Again, who knows now? And now with AI or whatever, like I'm sure people like YouTube are going to be even more anal about it. So we'll just have to see. We got 2 tree sentinels standing guard, or were standing guard? Yeah, they're not standing guard anymore. Whoops, I killed them. It was a stupid joke about Gostock being the true heir of Stormvale. Yeah, what a wild. You know, Miyazaki, he's coming back to wanting to make random inane people become the descendants of royalty. He really wants that to be used at some point, but he can't just get it, you know? He just can't manage to nab it. Speaking of nabbing things, I think I'm gonna nab some shut-eye chat, because I have been, obviously, I'm working at like, you know, I wouldn't even call myself a tank half full, more like a tank running on fumes. So I think probably do me some good to try to get myself back at sleeping at a decent hour. I think the fireworks passed too, so I should be good. Sorry about that. I adjusted my mic and it went a little quiet there. Anyway, I feel like there's definitely a lot of there's a lot of Elden Ring to definitely get shots for. Bloodborne technically also has shots, but it's all Chalice Dungeon shots, and those are miserable. I hope I have enough for Loran. Like, I really hope I don't need to get more Loran shots. Like, I'm hoping like whatever Mess got on the wiki and we've already taken will be fine. So like there's a lot I could be like doing in that front with Bloodborne that I don't think I'm going to unless absolutely necessary, because while I do love the Chalice Dungeon, you know, doing our Chalice Dungeon runs or whatever, it takes so much time just to get through one of those dungeons, and it's like, oh, it might not even have anything worthwhile after going through it and all that jazz, you know. So I don't know. Anyway, so that's going to be on my mind. I'm probably also going to, definitely going to get Bloodsaints done. Maybe I'll get Loran done next month, because now the entire timetable shifts. And yeah, I need to focus on like getting some of because once Loran's done, I'll come out with stuff like, I'll do the Gascoignes, I'll do the League, you know, I'll do those smaller topics, because, you know, we can actually cover them. I think there's one more I'm forgetting, but whatever, like I'll do them all, and then we can focus on more of the cosmology stuff and everything, because Loran will be the last like Chalice Dungeon I really need to you know, cover the full history and stuff on, now that we've got both Iz and Tumaru out of the way. So that's gonna be nice. It's like, you know, it's a huge chunk of it that's gonna be able to be finished and all that jazz. And then I don't know, but like I get the feel like I might end up coming back to Elden Ring at some point, but I do feel like I might like, because of like, you know, the complication I've been having with some of the more recent Elden Ring posts and stuff like that, and trying to like, you know, kind of like, you know, tinker with them, I might put Elden Ring on the back burner to focus on other stuff, especially with like some of these new projects I have going on separately from now, which could end up eating into more of my time. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. But yeah, like I said, I am tired. Again, I've been not getting much sleep lately, but I can promise you it's definitely well worth it. This has been an absolutely shitty year for me, chat. Absolutely awful, horrible, terrible, absolutely miserable. And it tells you how absolutely blessed my life is that has been the case. Worst year of my life, and I'm glad to see it over. Thank God. Lord have mercy, now I will actually get myself back on a decent sleep schedule. So thank you all. Peace. 99.